Which group needs more help? Bottom or right? Yes, the right. So he gets out. This, dare I use the word simple idea, which group needs more help, is just a way to negotiate these situations. And it's, unless you've made a mistake, it works fine all the time. Black R8, white's not dead, but it's getting cut. So, now that white has some backup on top, has that M6 stone, white goes all the way, so white's made a little 4-stone area. And that cuts. Black plays that move we've been afraid of, but now it's a little different. Black has to disconnect, and now, because of the M6 stone, we get a little bit of shape, and life becomes comfortable. It's kind of a very pleasant flow. It would be much more difficult without that M6 stone. Black plays a forcing move. Just before white lives, white plays the getting out moves. This is standard practice. Even though it doesn't get you out, you play your sente outside moves, you get Aji, information, black's forced into connecting in a certain way because white's about to die. So black, if later on in the game, let's say white lives, black does something else, Atari, well, black might decide not to because white's already alive and maybe there's something really big to do somewhere else. But here, white's not alive. So saving the stone is sente. So that's why we do it right away, so everyone, black's committed to responding. Okay. This would be a hard one for me in an actual game. Should white play on the top or the left? Notice black's quite prepared in the center. There's a lot of black stones there. Well, if I can defend any of these moves are defense, right? These are all defense. But if white plays this way, we can see that black's the one that's prepared in this battle, right? White's running into a black area. So white wants to have his group on the left secure before invading. So that's this idea. Since the top is black's area, we better be strong before we come in there. We're going to have to come in, but we want a strong group before we do. Black makes a moyo idea. That approaches. This R14, again, may seem incredibly obvious and simple, but it wasn't probably till I was in my early sixth on that I understood the value of this move. To me, Area 1 is the small area. Area 2 is the bigger area. Area 1, no one can grow there very well. So I used to invade on top because, I mean, living's not a problem, or surviving's not a problem. But it took a long time for me to understand what you do is you approach the area first. And I wish I had time to show you another game where Mr. Yang did that. That's just, I find, really stunningly beautiful, his approach before he comes in. It's really, anyway. So this idea of we're approaching the area we want to invade. 11. Yeah, someone's pointing out that, for instance, as white's living, black gets moves like R11 in Sente or close to Sente. Yeah, and that's one of the things that's bothersome about simply invading. It leaves weaknesses behind and stuff like that. Okay, so we approach first. And where for white? N17, R12, Q12, and 17. Huh? So obviously we're thinking of either defending the right or invading the top. And at this point, our move on the right, if we go away, will turn into a bad move. That is to say, we used to be afraid of this move, but now this move is doing two things rather than one thing. It's attacking two white groups. So it's harder than before. So yeah, we have to defend. So white defense. Right, there's many ways to invade on top, yes. And we'll see those things. And where for white? Don't you grasp the idea? Approach the area, ask me point. Yeah, Rambo Rocky, that's exactly, that you phrased that very well. That describes how difficult it was for me to understand the concept. I didn't used to do that in my 5-dan days. I'm like, well, invade the big area. It's like, no, go ahead and approach it and ask them to put another stone in the area before you invade. It's like, that's crazy talk. But I've learned over the years that it's totally the way to do it. Okay, M. So we're back over here, but we're still weak. So we defend. So our defense has some reasonable size, gives us excellent access into the center, which is clearly going to be a thing pretty soon. Yeah, so this, we're seeing some flow here in this game. So much of what we've seen is very simple, and that's why I brought this game. It's like, okay, then you approach, and then you defend, and then you defend, and oh, what about the top? Well, it'll take care of itself. Don't worry about it. If we're strong here, it's easy to invade. Okay, continuing. Now white comes in. I have seen Mr. Yang invade areas that I would be so worried about. And I've asked him. He says, well, even if M17 doesn't live, who cares? It's like, that's beside the point. If it doesn't live, then it was a probe. Maybe it'll be used somewhere else. He just doesn't worry about it. Does black have to play P14? No. But without P14, let's few things. Let's look at it this way. Black is now in trouble. His natural move is to come out. So him coming out is defense and grows the top better and gets a better handle on the center development. Now this is the strong way to play. And all these are such excellent examples of how we want moves that we can play to play like pros. It's a very much simple, straightforward move. Okay, onward. Invades.